Alrighty boys, well like the title says, I was hacked, or at least the closest I've ever been to being hacked. There was some malicious malware that made its way onto my PC, basically disabled and then deleted my Windows Defender, turned off my firewall, and worst of all, I suspect a potential sponsor that I've been working with, so let's talk about it. Alrighty guys, so 2 nights ago I noticed that my CPU was at about 50% utilization when I was just idling at my desktop, or I had a couple of tabs open doing some light web browsing. Very out of the character for a 10th gen i7, obviously. So I was a little bit concerned, to say the least, and that's when I looked in my Windows tray and noticed that Windows Defender was not just disabled, it was completely deleted. Now, I do definitely stand behind Windows Defender, as it is free, it's baked into Windows 10, and it is a solid free antivirus. Now, my only advice is, if you are going to run a third-party aftermarket program, an antivirus software such as McAfee or Kapishki or something like that, that you deactivate one or the other and you keep one as the primary, because when you have 2 or even 3 antivirus programs running together, it doesn't stack coverage. It actually works against each other. Basically what it does is it bogs down your system because they're scanning the same files, or they notice each other as viruses, or they're trying to make exceptions for the same files, and it ends up corrupting a lot of your software, your apps, stuff like that. So I've personally, on my last built PC, Trooper 7, which you guys have seen extensively, I've never once had a virus, worm, Trojan horse, any kind of malicious attack, for a couple reasons. One, I just run Windows Defender with a solid firewall. I set up my firewall manually to look for certain targets and thresholds. I also use a VPN, or virtual private network, virtually every time I browse on my primary PC. And then also, here's a little icing on the cum cake, boys. I have a second PC back there, a $130 burner PC that literally its whole purpose in life, besides some really cheap emulation and retro gaming and doing a build on the channel to show you guys what you can get for 250 bucks, including all peripherals, is to do all of my illicit, nefarious stuff. I use quotes because I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not buying weapons on the black market or searching the dark web for sick, sadistic stuff that would make you guys unsubscribe or anything like that. But what I am doing is, I'm a retro gamer. As you see from my wall back there, I have a lot of old school controllers on there. So I download a lot of ROMs and emulators of games that I, of course, did legally own back in the day, but misplaced my hardware copy. Same thing with software. There's a lot of programs that I've owned over the years that I can't find the Windows 10 disk to. Not to mention, modern PCs don't even have optical drives. Mine certainly doesn't. It's got some holes you can put things into, but no disk drive. So what I do is I download a lot of software copies of programs that I have owned in the past. And obviously that PC is where I handle all of that. So if there's an email I don't trust, or a website that doesn't have an actual valid certificate or something, but I want to get on there to get a program or whatever, then I use old Ben back there. That's his purpose, is to show that he might be old, but he's still kicking. So moving on from that, what do I think caused it? Now, when you hit about 4,000 to 5,000 subscribers, you start getting a lot of traction, you start getting views, monthly views, view minutes, stuff like that. You're going to get the attention of a lot of small companies that want to sponsor you, i.e. either a paid sponsorship where you can mention their product, or generally when you're a smaller channel, they will send you a free physical copy. They will send you a free physical product, or, you know, a subscription to their service or something, so you can test it out, give your honest, no biased, no scripted review. You know, they even tell you, say whatever you want about it, you get to keep this, whatever. And that's great and all, but generally that's something, you know, physical, like a controller or some office supply or something. But a company reached out to me here recently, and it seemed a little bit, I'm not going to say scammy, but it didn't seem very professional or anything from the get-go. And there were some red flags there, so I was obviously on guard. And it was a antivirus company. And I visited their website, and it looked pretty legit and everything. It had a valid certificate. I checked their cookies, their tracking cookies, all that checked out. I wasn't running a VPN when I looked at their website like an idiot. I should have had it auto running, or most importantly, I should have been on old Ben, because I don't care about the files on board that PC or the hardware itself. But I'm using my brand new, overpriced, pre-built PC, which is the workhorse of this channel. It does the 4K video editing. It shoots the videos, it streams, and it also mines for me in the evenings and while I'm at work to eventually hopefully pay for itself. So I genuinely don't want any issues with this PC. like I said, I was already on guard a little bit, right? I was fencing with this representative, this marketing executive over there, fencing with him. You know, I asked him a bunch of questions. I asked for his credentials, etc. I should have asked more questions, and I should have been even more cautious, but I wasn't. I was stupid. So instead of, you know, sending me a product code or key where I can get a free copy to their software to try out their antivirus, whatever, which, by the way, you know, in the future, I probably won't be accepting software product offers from any company. This gentleman directed me to a Google Drive to download the document. Now, I did not click download on the file, but I did open the Google Drive to see the contents, which was stupid on my part. And I did this on my primary PC with my VPN off. Now, I'm assuming this is what it was. I'm not going to mention the name of this company. I would warn you guys if I knew 100% that it was this company, but I'm not going to put this little armpit of a company on blast if they weren't the ones that caused this and it was just some other random thing. Now, I don't think it's any of my mining software because about 2 months ago, I uninstalled NiceHash, the traditional legacy miner, which, by the way, I had been using for 2 years on my previous PC, no issues. But I installed QuickMiner, which is first-party in-house design software from NiceHash. Last time they were hacked was back in 2017, and they've had a pretty good track record since then. You know, I've been mining consistently with QuickMiner, no issues there, so I don't really think it's that. But like I said, I opened the contents of this Google Drive to see if there was actually a file in there, but I didn't click download or anything like that. That would have really done in my PC, I'm sure. But shortly after that is when I noticed that my CPU, I'm sorry, was ramping up to about 50% utilization. I heard my CPU, well, there's no CPU fan, I'm water cooled, but like the fans in the case spooling up, and I'd look over at my Stream Deck, which has a little monitor for my CPU usage, and saw it was working, and I'm not doing anything, which means somebody's remoting into my PC and running tasks that I'm not doing. Scary shit, right? So I Control-Alt-Delete, like I'd like to do on the face of whoever caused this issue, and it, you know, popped up Task Manager, and of course my CPU would come back down to idle at 2%, and I'm like, okay, so every time I open Task Manager, it's closing something in the background because it doesn't want me to see the program or script that's running. So anyway, I'm going to accelerate this process a little bit. What I ended up having to do was I ran a program called Aware, I believe, where it scanned. I found 6 malware files out of one root folder, quarantined that. However, Windows was still acting wonky. I ended up installing a fresh, clean copy of Windows, so I spent an entire day basically uninstalling all the default bloatware from Windows, Dell, and Alienware, the programs that you're never going to use, reinstalling all the programs that I do need, like Streamlabs OBS, Adobe Premiere to do my video editing, all my games, Steam, Discord, basically everything you want on your primary PC, redoing all my settings for all of these applications. It takes forever. And then you remember, like, oh, I didn't install that, and I use that for blurring the background of my webcam and stuff like that. Like all these little software programs and stuff. So I reinstall all of those, definitely beefed up my security, now running a thicker firewall and running a hybrid VPN directly from my modem now, so I don't have to remember, oh, put that on your PC. It's directly encoded or scrambling my my IP through the virtual private network through my modem now. So my entire house is covered by an umbrella, a VPN, basically, a hybrid VPN. But goddamn. So that took a ton of time. That put me behind on my videos, and I've had a bunch of people asking me, where's the video for the second fan install on the Aurora R11? A lot of people that found my channel recently and subscribed, which by the way I greatly appreciate, came here because of the Alienware Aurora content. They're R10, R11, or future R12 owners. And, you know, I have been wanting to put a second case fan in the front. I already have the fans and everything. I was going to shoot that video, but like I said, I spent an entire day getting this PC operating again. And so far, everything seems legit, but god dang. So a quick disclaimer to you guys, take this stuff seriously. I mean, I'm not even a casual PC user. I'm relatively tech savvy. And I like I said, I run antivirus, firewall, VPN. And I made a couple clumsy mistakes and I paid for it. It could have been a lot worse from what I've seen. My personal information, none of my accounts have been hacked or anything like that. I didn't have to change any passwords yet. However, I am going to change all my banking passwords, my Google password, because God forbid somebody gets access to my YouTube channel and deletes videos or deletes the whole channel or something. I would be livid. I really would.
Now that'd rip your face right off. Right off. There's nothing you can do with that.
And also for you viewers out there that are prospective new YouTubers or streamers, once you guys gain some traction, you get a little bit of size, you're already get the attention of some small companies wanting to sponsor you. Like I said, stick to physical products or a very, very trusted software product that lets you download directly from their reputable website. Obviously, don't click on a Google Drive, even to look at the contents, apparently. That was stupid on my part. If I was going to do that, I should have ran old Ben for that. But god damn. Just super frustrating stuff. I'm frustrated. You could probably tell by the tone of my voice.
I'm very angry right now. You can tell by the tone of my voice I'm angry. I'm pissed off.
I've cooled down a lot. I was extremely upset. Like I said, I spent an entire day that I could be using creating content for you guys. Basically redoing the setup process of getting a new PCU. So that's going to do it. I'm not going to ramble on. Just be cautious out there and don't trust things that seem sketchy. All right, guys. Peace.